Hey guys, we've got Ronnie Knuckles from spearcrestdigital here to help us with looking and seeing what it looks like for a business to have a good online presence, for the building blocks of our business to really get the word out to the public. So, without any further ado, we got Ronnie Knuckles here, and we're just going
Hey,
to
man.
kind of go piece by piece, learning things in a series, what this looks like for us in our business. So, Ronnie.
Yeah, man. Well, thanks for having me, dude. I appreciate you bringing me back on. It's always fun to hop on and talk to you.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I mean, you and I had talked about this a little bit, and I wanted to get with you and bring something to the table that's actually going to help people.
Mm.
And I think, I say a lot, like in my Facebook posts, and I see other marketers talking about it. It's like you need to have a really good online presence in 2024 to, it's a piece to the puzzle to helping your business grow. Well, it's really pretty to say you need to have a good online presence, but what does that actually mean
Uh,
from a business owner's perspective? And so I thought it would be kind of cool to just start at the beginning. Some of it's going to be obvious and things that you and I've already talked about. But as we get into the episodes, we're going to get kind of grainy and then, look at it from not only the business owner's perspective is what you're going to bring to the table, but also as a marketer who services dumpster rental companies, looking at it from our lens and seeing it like this is what we want to do. And some of these things business owners can take back for themselves and begin to do without ever hiring an agency. So
mm.
I thought it'd be kind of a cool way to provide value and looking at it from two different lenses, your lens and then, my lens. And hopefully people can get some value and actually drive in some leads.
Yes, sir. Awesome. So, what's the first thing that you would say is the most important? If somebody's just starting out, they're trying to announce to the world, "Hey, I'm here. I'm offering services." What does that look like for you for that first step?
So again, I'm going to look at it through a digital marketing perspective. I think there are things that you need to do before you look at the digital marketing side. The first thing you need to do is ask yourself, am I willing to put in the work?
Mm.
And then you need to do a lot of things on the ground. Okay. But you need to have a good website. Now, in the beginning, you can start with a Squarespace or a GoDaddy, or you don't need to have a professionally really nice website like we would come in and build for you. You need to have something that you can direct people to that talks about, near the top of the page, it needs to have your business name, your phone number, your service area, and what you do. Those things all need to be when I land on that website, all that information is available. Okay. Now I say you can build them on a platform like GoDaddy or Squarespace or Wix to get started. But if you're going to spend the money on those, you might as well go ahead and build one out on Duda.
Mm.
Duda is simple enough for you to build something out the same way you would on GoDaddy. If you're going to do it yourself on GoDaddy or Squarespace, it's about the same price. The difference is that Duda is set up much better on the back end for SEO. It competes with WordPress for SEO. And some marketers will disagree, but we're outranking them. So they can disagree all they want. But if my clients are ahead of them in the rankings, well, numbers speak for themselves. Now, here's the deal. I'm not crapping on WordPress. WordPress is great. And I think WordPress does serve a really good purpose. And I think it's probably one of the best website builders in the game. However, it can be much more complex.
Mm.
And really, as a business owner, you're going to have a really bad looking website if you don't know what you're doing and you get into WordPress and you start to try to build one. Um, so, again, if you're going to start with a builder, start with like a Duda. I'm going to talk a lot here because now I'm about to segue into the second half of this. Let's assume that you've already done this. You've got a website that's up, it's driving in leads, and you're ready to bring in a quality agency. Now, that could be us, it could be another agency. There's a lot of options out there. Let's say you like a guy, like there's a marketer that you like, and you're like, I want to work with this guy. Some things you need to look for when you're doing this. Your website needs to be a funnel. So it needs to have all four elements that we talked about in the beginning. And that is who you are, what you do, where you do it, and how do I get a hold of you. All of those things need to be near the top of the website. And then from that point, I like a form somewhere near the top of the website. Some people don't like forms like business owners, but I'm telling you, clients love filling out forms. I don't know why, but they do. So we usually put a form near the top of the website. Then you want to have plenty of content and information. Google likes somewhere between 1,500 and 2,500 words of content on the homepage of a website. Now, some people are like, dude, that's too many words. I don't want that many words on my homepage. Well, okay. Well, then whoever does have that is going to outrank you. The thing is, you chop that content up to where it's digestible. You don't have a huge, long group of paragraphs. You put a section like these are our dumpster sizes and describe each dumpster size in detail and put the dimensions and then put a book now button, right? Like we did with your site. And then you have another section, why you should choose us or our process or whatever. And you chop it up into these sections on the site to where it's easily digestible. And you create a funnel. And then at the end of the website, at the bottom of the page, typically we'll put another form. Sometimes we will, sometimes we won't. It depends on the client. I will put another form at the bottom of that homepage to give them 2 options for forms, and then a ton of book now or call us today or email us or learn more buttons throughout that homepage. Those are your call to actions. Now you can be overzealous and it can just be crazy. So it needs to make sense. So look at some competitors or maybe some dumpster rental companies in other markets. So let's say that you're in, I don't know, Lafayette, Indiana. Go to look at some dumpster companies in Salt Lake City or wherever and say, hey, I like the layout of this site, and use some of their elements. And so we'll do that as a marketing agency. Now, we've built a ton of dumpster rental websites at this point, but I'll have clients come to me and say, I really like the design of this site and this site and this site. And I'll even encourage them to do that. Find some sites you like and send them to me. Now, we're not going to replicate and make you an exact site, but we're going to take all of the good aspects of these 3 sites and put them into our sites. And so that's kind of our process and how we do that. So if you're a business owner and maybe you don't have the money to come and pay an agency like me $2,500 yet to build out a site, but you want to get started and you want to have something quality, go sign up for Duda and then go back and rewind this video and take some of those things that I just told you and implement those into when you're building the site. So now my question is, you and I've already built your website. So you may have already asked some of these questions, but I want to hear from you. Let's imagine that I hadn't built it, because I know you had asked me some questions back when I was building it, when we were first kind of getting introduced and you were learning about who we are. I told you what we do as an agency, but I want to hear from you, like as a business owner, what are some things that you look for or that, you're going to want to ask from an agency to build your site. So I'm going to hand it back off to you, and by the way, this is not scripted. Okay. We did not plan this out.
Not at all.
This is off the wall. We did this intentionally. So anyway, it's back to you, man.
Yeah. For myself, coming from having a DRS site, and for the most part, so to wind back a little bit, I created a Wix website. As you talked about, another option that can be much more cost effective. You build it yourself. I had no earthly idea. It was barely functional. I think there was a form that somebody could fill out, but I don't even think it was like it was just I was able to say I had a website.
Right.
And that's about it. And I wasn't really proud about it. And when I went with DRS to be able to have the back end inventory management, payment processing, all those types of features, the website came with it. They pulled from that current website that I had created and basically just kind of copied, pasted it, and made it functional within their system. And then it was, here you go. Here's the website. There wasn't any dialogue. There wasn't any more serious, in-depth conversation, strategizing, talking through what works, what maybe doesn't. It was more of a plug and play direct, and no shade or anything to DRS, but it just it was a better system in general than what I had currently had at that time. But there wasn't any more hands-on conversations, working through what works, what doesn't. Being very thoughtful through the website. And so since then, it's been functional. I get online bookings. That's great. I'm appreciative of what that did for me. However, it didn't fit the vision that I had for the website, and to help people who would visit the website, funnel them to, as you said, it's a funnel, whether they realize it or not. The idea is for them to book online, for them to say yes, and to pull the trigger and reach out for more information. And so, when I first approached you, I was really looking for somebody who would be more hands-on, would help explain and talk through the psychology, the strategy of what the homepage looks like, of the process, and kind of going down that line of what that looks like and how that will make sense. And so working with you, for me personally, has been awesome. I still don't know everything, but I feel like I'm much more equipped, me knowing what my website can do, what it is doing, and why we're doing what we're doing. And so for me, that has been, I'm here to run my business, not know how to run websites. That's your job. I need your help, and that's what you've given me. So I don't have to. I know enough to know what we're doing is working and it's building. But there is that dialogue, that conversation, and I'm not worried about the back end necessarily. I'm able to focus on what I need to focus on in my business, having this set up the way it is. So that's been my experience. That's been, honestly, it's been a relief more than anything else. Just like, okay, we have a system. Before it was just like, here we go. And now I have confidence. I'm not ashamed of my website like I used to be. And I'm excited about it. So that's been my experience. So
good, man. And yeah, I mean, look, I love the people at DRS. I think that the people at DRS are awesome. I would never talk bad about any of them. I'm friends with the guy that started DRS. So, but I think that the difference is that our focal point is the design of a website, because I think that's extremely important and it gets overlooked a lot. And I also think that we're focused on the organic side. So we're focused on the design, we're focused on the SEO, and we're focused on the Google Business Profile. Our focus is not all over the place. So we don't do website design, software, SEO, Google ads, Facebook ads. So we're able to really hone in on what we're good at. And that allows us to kind of do what you talk about, because I don't just want to give you a good product. I want to educate you on that product so you know what you have. And worst comes to worst, if all the guys in the Spearcrest Digital office get struck by lightning while we're playing golf one day, you will be able to at least know your way around the site. Now, we want to take that off your hands for as long as you're a client of ours. But I think, what I see a lot is, and I get this message a lot, hey, saw you were tagged in a post, how much for a website? Well, as soon as somebody asks me how much for a website, I know that they only care about the cost. And here's the deal. I'm not out here to make $1 million on one guy's website. Right. However, we're not cheap, because with us, to your point, our goal is to get you a really high quality product that you're gonna know what you got, and we're gonna be here to support you through that. And so anyway, I want to kind of tie this all together. So you start with the foundation. The website is like the foundation of the house. If you want good digital marketing, now when it comes to ads and stuff, you want to build out landing pages and point ads to landing pages. You don't necessarily want to direct them back to the website. We can get into all that data, but organically, you need a good foundation to the house. Starts with that website. Then all of the off-page stuff comes. What I mean by off-page are things like getting leads from your Google Business Profile, doing all of the off-page SEO stuff. And we get great results for our clients. SEO is not dead, and it won't be dead anytime soon. It might be decentralized in the next 5 to 10 years, but it will not be dead. In fact, it might even be more important, because you're going to be needing to rank on a lot of different search engines, which we still try to do to this day. But I think maybe over the next 10 years, Google's foothold, being the 88% owner of search engines, may eventually shift. But anyway, my point in saying all of this is, for you to rank well on search engines at all, step one, got to have a really good foundation. Then from there, as a business owner, there are other things that you can do. And that's kind of, the point of this. I want to throw out like, hey, you got to start with a good website, period. I have guys like, well, my GoDaddy site's doing just fine. I have a great website. I love it. And it's because they built it and they've got this emotional connection to it. And so then we'll go do an audit and I'm like, look, I know that you like this website. However, the back end's telling me a very different story. And just because you like it doesn't mean it's ever going to drive you in revenue. And a website is a tool, man. It's a tool. And that's how it should be looked at. It is something that you are utilizing to drive in leads to your business. It's just another avenue. And if you can represent your brand well online, you can stand out from the competition, dude. Like you're standing out from the competition now.
I
Because of
I
it.
was about to say, my market is in between 100 and 200,000, more on the lower end of that. um, there's some older companies here. Some companies, I'll say older mindset companies,
Gotcha.
that have websites that are built in the 2000s, that haven't been updated in just about forever. And I've been seeing, honestly, in my opinion, them kind of squirm a little bit, trying to put out some different ads that I don't think they've ever advertised before. I think
Mm.
they're getting a little, they don't have a foothold on the market as much as they used to, maybe. And they're kind of squirming, trying to find new ways, because what they have been doing that has worked for so long isn't necessarily working as much as
Right.
it was, from before. So
Yeah.
seeing that process and seeing my website and the traffic that it has been increasing, talking about the Google My Business profile, the ranking organically for that and the map pack and different things, as well as the website with just the website, just cleaning up what I did have, you guys piecing it together, putting it in a package that it makes sense to Google. And I don't know all of those details, but like I'm already ranking for like a number of different, I believe on the first page. And I'll do the private web search on my phone, so it's not just
Oh yeah, the incognito searches.
incognito, to see like, am I actually this, or is it just wanting to tell me what I've looked up to check myself. And I'm like, it's me. I've had other people do it before. I'm like, okay, we haven't been going into the SEO route yet, but like just with a clean website, I'm already like pushing people out of the way. So yeah, I'm all in.
Well, good. Yeah, I'm glad to hear it, dude. And that's true. You know, a lot of the times it's like we'll also find people who maybe their website's been on the internet for 20 years and they're ranking high because time is a rank factor. And that's a rank factor that we can't overcome. We
Sure.
try to we can eventually overcome it with high quality off-page backlinking and all that sort of stuff. And again, we're going to get into this stuff in future episodes, but time is just one of those things. But here's the deal. Maybe you're ranking high and you got a crap website and you're not getting a lot of organic calls because your website sucks and people are just not they're getting to the site and they're like, okay, I don't know, like if I need to click this button to call this guy or he doesn't have any forms. And just having like a website overhaul and giving them opportunities, because some people prefer to email, some people prefer to fill out forms, some prefer to call, some prefer to text, whatever. Giving them all of those opportunities, that alone can make a huge, I think, you were telling me this, you didn't get any form submissions on your old, or got very few form
Very
submissions on
few.
your old site.
Very few.
And then I think we had been with you for or we had launched the site I don't know, 45 days ish, something like that, and you'd gotten like 11 or something. Is that right?
Yeah.
Am I right with my numbers there?
It's I know we're above that now. And I've converted them. Following up with them, having the form, I have that connected to Zapier. I've got that
Mm,
connected to my lead connector, which is Go High Level. They're getting hit with a text message right after they fill out that form, and then I'm following up with them on the phone. If I don't make contact with them, I get them additional text messages down the road. Like it's like I have that system to carry the follow up to be able to make those things, convert those customers. And
mhm.
it's like I have the system in place and it's just running. And
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still a part of it. I want to be calling and following up. I mean, you got to pick up the phone and make the call.
Oh yeah, that's
You
another thing. Yeah. Yeah, you
But,
can do all this stuff to your website, and if you don't answer the calls because they say spam risk, you're going to lose a bunch of work. So don't do that.
so it's another piece of the puzzle, having to follow up with that. But yeah, it's been the forms. I'm actually curious if we want to sometime go and see if it's the top form that has been the converting one, or down below. Sometime go through that as well. But
Yeah.
um,
We got some of the stats. I'm going to show you some stats in a minute on the
Oh.
SEO piece.
Cool.
Not on the website, but I just wanted to answer your question about the organic side. Actually, I don't have to share my screen, but so I just wanted to say this. You were saying that you are now ranking high for some areas that you weren't. So I use a tool called Ahrefs. Ahrefs is how it's spelled. And then I just plugged your website in. And well, I'm going to have to do it again here really quickly because I'm out too far. So your website is now ranking for 21 new keywords. We haven't done any SEO to your website.
Let's go. Bro.
None. And you've added in 21 new keywords. This is in the last 30 days is what it's. Oh, no. It's the last 90 days. So you've added in 21 new keywords in the last 90 days. I think we built your site a little over 90 days ago. So just the new website, Google has recognized 21 new keywords. Now, if I go to the keywords themselves, you have jumped up 60 positions for dumpster rental Monticello, Indiana. So you were on the 7th page for dumpster rental Monticello, Indiana, and now you're in the 4th position organically. And we're not doing any SEO. We haven't even started SEO. I mean, all of the on-page SEO came with the website. But again, this is my point. A really well laid out website makes a massive difference. You don't have to have crazy SEO out of the gate. If it's laid out well and Google likes it, you're going to get some natural SEO from the on-page work that has been done properly. And then, of course, the off-page SEO will take it from the 4th position to the 1st position over time. And that's the goal. Because you're not driving a lot of revenue, anything, beyond the 3rd position organically anyway. So, but yeah, so that's really the point. And it's really kind of proving this point. It starts with a good foundation. Now that we've got a good foundation, now that you've got a well laid out website that's going to drive in leads, now we can take it to the next level and shift down into, second gear and hit the gas and go from there. And so in the next episode, I want to talk about what's that look like from an owner's perspective. Like, what's that mean for you if you don't want to hire an agency? And then what's it look like from an agency's perspective? Meaning that, okay, we've just launched this website and now we're going to start doing Google Business Profile Management. And then the 3rd episode, we'll talk about off-page SEO and what that even means. Sounds like magical fairy dust, but I'm going to break that down. What does off-page SEO actually mean? It's probably super boring, but I want people to know it so they know what's going on when they're working with an agency so they don't get taken advantage of.
So just to summarize, so the website would be the first thing you would want to direct somebody to be attacking first. Maybe not, throw in their own, if they don't have a Google My Business profile in 2024, 2025, put something up. But if you are going to be putting resources towards something, you would say the website is first and foremost. Is that right?
I'm a little cold-hearted when it comes to not having a Google Business Profile in 2024.
Okay.
If you are running a service-based business and you do not have a Google Business Profile, get it together and get a Google Business Profile. Okay. That should be the first thing you do. It's free. And it's extremely, if you want to drive now, again, maybe you don't want to drive in leads off Google. I don't know. People are using Google and you should be wanting to drive in leads off of Google. And again, it's not going to save your business. It's a piece to the puzzle. All right. I'm not saying that I'll never claim that SEO or ranking high in the maps is going to save your business. If you suck as a business owner and you're not a hustler and you're not willing to put in the work, you're going to struggle no matter what. But this can help you get to the next level. I mean, we've seen clients go from 15 to 16,000 a month to not dropping below 50K a month for an extended period of time. Now, we didn't do all of that, but we certainly had a big hand in it. We were a big part of that puzzle. But if you don't have a Google Business Profile, like, you need to ask yourself, how bad do you really want this? Like, come on. That's a basic thing you can do. Now, getting verified can be a huge pain, and some people are intimidated by that. And I'm always happy to give that out. Like, I will walk you through how we've helped a number of clients get that done. I'll give you the info for free. But get a Google business profile up. But you need to have somewhere good to direct those people. So you need to have a website too, because you need to have that connected to your profile. And typically, this is just a little bit of a tidbit here. If you have a website already established that's branded to your business before you get a Google business profile, it's much easier to get that profile verified, because then you can connect that profile or that website to that profile in the verification process, and it sees that, okay, you've had a website that's been around for, a month or so, and then get it verified. So it's a little bit easier. It's not necessary, but those two things need to be done early on in your online journey as you're trying to rank your business online. I'm not saying you need to pay for SEO out of the gate. We will not work with people that are doing any less than like 12,000 a month. And even then we're a little, we're kind of real picky about it. And so if you're not generating at least 12,000 in gross revenue each month, you're not qualified for SEO. So don't even worry about it. Worry about, getting a good foundation in place until you get to that point. And then, launching off from there. So that was a long way for me answering the question. I don't even remember what you said, what question you gave me, but you were talking about Google business profile.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I know, I know for myself, I had some issues earlier on where my profile got shut down, or suspended, I think, due to my address.
Yeah.
That's probably a whole other video. My address was a home address. You can't have the business at the home address. And so but I couldn't get it off. And so, at the time I reached out to a company that said they can help do those things, to get that, basically a non-address, thing. And basically it was to the point I was so desperate. I was like, man, at the time, I think I had like 20, maybe 30 reviews. They're all 5-star. I'm at 130 plus now that are all 5-star. But even at that time, I thought 20 or 30. I'm like, dude, that took so much effort and time to get those people to give me a review. I'm like, man, can I afford to lose this? Even at that time, I was already really kind of killing it within the map pack for a number of keywords. And so yeah, the Google My Business, for what it's worth, coming from me, it was the lifeblood, getting those calls, picking up the phone when others wouldn't. I know I stole customers from other people because they just didn't pick up the phone. And I'm like, hello, Daniel with Help Redemption Rentals. How can I help? It was those things that, earlier on, I was able to salvage that profile, get it back reinstated, and get cooking with it, and just trying to build it up from there. So,
it's huge, man. And you got me thinking. I've got this client, and if he's watching this, I'm sorry, but I just have to tell this story, and I'm not going to name him or anything like that. But we'd started doing his SEO, and we were like 3 months in, and around 3 months, 3 months is still early in the SEO journey. It takes a while, but still, I had noticed that he was getting a decent amount of calls, so which indicated to me that he was probably ranking better. And so we ran some heat maps and all this stuff, and come to find out, he was actually doing much better than he had originally done before he started with us. So long story short, I call him and I'm like, hey man, how's it going? And it looks like you guys are getting a pretty good number of calls. And he's like, dude, all of them are spam. Like, we're getting all these calls and like 90% of them are spam. And I'm like, that doesn't sound right. And I'm like, wait a minute. Are you answering the calls, or are they showing up on your phone as like spam risk? Because, a lot of them will show up as spam risk. And he's like, no, they're all showing up as spam risk. I'm not answering them because they're spam. And I'm like, those are clients. And you're just not answering them because they say spam risk, but they're not spam risk. So he's like, I don't know. And he was kind of hesitant. I'm like, just for the next 30 days, answer every call. Answer them, spam risk or not. So like a month later, I called him. I'm like, how's it going? He's like, we're getting a ton of calls, dude. He's like, very few of them are spam. I mean, you're probably going to get 2 or 3 spam calls a day.
Sure.
Maybe, some days they might get hot and heavy. But, he's like, we're getting 10 calls a day and they're all spam. And I'm like, no, dude, those are not spam. So just a little lesson there. When you start ranking higher in the Google Maps, you will get more spam, because people, spammers are going to find you more often. We cold call people from the agency. So like but we go to like the 5th page, because if you're on the 5th page, you need us. But anyway, my point is, typically, like, we'll start working with someone, and like 2 months in, they're like, I'm getting a lot more spam calls. I mean, that's a good sign. That means that you're getting seen more. And then from there, you kind of get into the good clients that are, actually calling you. But anyway, my point in saying all this is answer the phone every time it rings, because your competitors, there's a lot of people out there that are not answering the phone because it says spam risk. Maybe they just suck at answering the phone and they're not going to answer it anyway. And it gives you a really high competitive advantage, because every call you answer isn't just one job. It's whoever that person knows. It's the next time they need you. You're looking at the potential for hundreds of jobs on one phone call if you do
Yep.
things the right way. And so you need to think of it that way. It's not just the one call. Answer them. Just answer them. Worst case, it's a spam call, and hang up on them and move on. So anyway, I could go on tangents like that for a while, but no, I think this was good. Again, a good website. Without it, you're going to be behind the 8 ball, and your competitors that understand that it's important are going to be a step ahead of the game.
Man, I feel more hopeful going into this next season for springtime, having this time for Google to know who I am, what my website's about, getting all that kind of prepped even more for this springtime. I'm ready for it. I'm anticipating an overflow from having the website, seeing the numbers now in the back end on Google. And every once in a while Google sends you the analytics from time to time, what it looks like last 30 days, this and that, and just seeing that. And I'm very hopeful for next year, and almost a little concerned, like, do I have enough cans? Do I need to be getting some more? Like, I've got some I'm getting actually right now, but man, yeah, this is definitely
Those are the problems I want our clients to have. I would much rather you be a little bit, because look, we're in the slow season right now, and it's going to be slow. I don't care if you're ranking number 1 across the board, you're going to slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
But I want my clients to be thinking about spring and going, am I going to be able to handle the flow? I'd much rather you be worried about, are you going to be able to keep up with the work, rather than, oh my God, am I going to be able to keep my business open in the spring? Those
Right.
are 2 different problems, and I would take the previous one all day. So that's a good. I'm really glad to hear that, and we're going to get started on the SEO soon too, and I think that's going to be really good come
Awesome.
spring. So
Heck yeah,
we'll save that for
cool.
future episodes.
Very good. Yeah. Guys, again, we're going to be doing a series talking through these kind of things for your website, for your online presence, the building blocks of your online presence. And